Hey, so today we're talking about your call plan, meaning what are you doing with the time that you have in front of your client? How are you planning? How are you executing? How are you creating next steps? Let's get to it. Call plan. So several of you talked about how you've been thinking about this. So there's the preparation, the opening, the engagement, and the close of the call, right? So we're going to work on all of these today. We're probably going to spend the least amount of time with the prep because we did a lot of that in the last session, but we are going to do some prep so that you can use that to role play today. So as you think about the prep piece, I've centered a lot of what we're talking about today on sharing data and impact. And part of that is that, that's what a lot of clients purchase for, right? They want to see it in the numbers, how and where we're successful. But to Brian's point earlier, there's also some qualitative pieces that they really care about. So it's how do you bring those two things together to share the right story? So prep, at a minimum, you want to be thinking about the current relationship and contacts and whether you're talking to the right level of altitude. You want to pull together some of those aha moments. And Stephanie, I love that you called out that there are, 3 highlights that you often look for. I think 3 is a magic number. Any more than 3, and it can be kind of overwhelming. Any fewer than 3, and it's, could you have just sent me an email? We didn't really need to have a conversation, right? So 3 things to be able to think through and talk through. And then don't forget about that confirmation and invite. So we're gonna cover some of those. For the opening, it's the the intros and rapport building, what your mutually aligned goals, roles, and outcomes are. That sneaky discovery that I mentioned earlier, that's really, you can do kind of full-on discovery early on in the conversation. You can do some sneaky discovery through some of the things that they're sharing with you. You can ask some questions that don't necessarily have to do with your agenda, but you might have a few things that you ask early on before you've kind of gotten into the heart of the conversation that can really help you think about where you're going to go with that conversation. Like if they've brought somebody else to the call, right? Who's that person? What do they do? How much do they know about PICS, right? It's an opportunity to educate or re-educate. The engagement portion of the call for today, we're going to talk a little bit about how you ask the right sorts of questions proactively, and then the TSA that I prefer when I travel. So not the TSA of Transportation Security Administration, but tell, show, ask. So tell them something about why you're about to share something, show them what you're going to share, and then ask some questions about it to really get them talking. But whatever you do not read the data to them. Do not read the reports to them, right? People read faster than you can speak, but it's also a really poor use of both of your time. And so then how do you close up the call? So how do you address some of those gaps? How do you identify what the gaps are? That ideally whatever is coming up as questions or objections or concerns or next steps, all of that is what's formulating your next step. We're going to talk about the 5 W's today, which is, does anybody remember the 5 W's from elementary school? I'm lip reading Philip say who, what, where, when, why. Yes.
Yeah, I've got 4 of the 5.
Yep. So I love the 5 W's because they can help you with understanding the process for evaluation, understanding who you're up against from a competition perspective, and understanding the signature process for getting a contract back. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you deploy some of those 5 W's to get below the surface of who else might be involved in the behind the scenes, and then scheduling that next interaction. If you've made it all the way through to this part of the recording, you are either a sales pro, a sales enablement pro, or certainly on your way to being. For more tips and tricks like this, follow me on my LinkedIn page, or you can like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, or both. Find me at Toying with This Idea. If you need coaching, whether it's for you as an individual or for your team, as well as things like training, tools, talk tracks, tech optimization, any of the things that are going to support your go-to-market effectiveness, you can also find me on LinkedIn or reach out to me via my website, Toying with This Idea. Get out there, go crush it, have fun.